Hello, I'm Rebecca, and this is Your Bourbon Journey. Welcome to another Thirsty Thursday cocktail night. What will we be making tonight? Well, if you've been following along, I've been kind of hooked on two things. One is Amaro, and we've done two cocktails with two different Amaros, and the other is the single barrel Four Roses that have been released this year, the three of them. So far, I've used two of them in cocktails. So yeah, tonight we're continuing that theme a little bit. We're going to be using another Amaro and another one of those Four Roses single barrels. I also enjoy something that's really balanced, and I love a good whiskey sour. So tonight, we're going to make the Monte Whiskey Sour. I hope that sounds intriguing. It's going to have this Amaro in it. So let's talk about what you will need to make this cocktail. First, as always, we need a great bourbon. Tonight, as I said, I'm going with the Four Roses, a single barrel version. This is recipe OBSF, known to be a high-rye bourbon with delicate rye and mint notes that are going to complement this Amaro very well. Second, we have to have a great Amaro. We're going with the Amaro Montenegro. It's sweet, floral, herbal, and has some amazing orange notes to it that we're going to really capitalize on. Next, we need fresh squeezed lemon juice. Very important that it's fresh. It gives the tartness and the brightness that you really need to balance a great sour drink. For our sweet note, instead of using a simple syrup, I've selected the Demerara Syrup tonight. I love the Demerara Syrup. One of the things is it's rich, dark, caramel, almost a toffee sensation. And when you consider the other ingredients we're using, it's going to bring this luscious note to our cocktail, and I'm very excited about that. Finally, we're going to use some bitters. I mentioned before that the Amaro has a lot of orange notes, so we are going to use orange bitters this evening. In addition, black walnut bitters will bring in some nutty notes as well as some complexity that I think you're going to really enjoy. Finally, and if you've watched me at all, you know I'm not a big fan of using fresh egg whites in a sour, although I love the texture they give as well as the foam, but I like something that's easily accessible, shelf stable, and can be done at any time. Plus, you don't have to dry shake it, you can put it in with the rest of your cocktail. So once again, I will be using Fee Foam this evening to make the whiskey sour. So that's pretty much what we need to get this done. I've chosen a Coupe Glass for our finished product. We will be using a shaker. Of course, you need a shot glass and a strainer. You could use a rocks glass, but I love the look of a whiskey sour in a Coupe Glass. It's just lovely. So let's go through this step by step so you can make this cocktail as well. First, let's go ahead and start with that bourbon. We're going to grab our Four Roses OBSF, and we're going to use 1.5 ounces. Oftentimes you'll notice that I use 2 ounces of bourbon in most of my cocktails. But tonight, since I'm using an Amaro, that's going to be taking the place of some of our bourbon notes. So we're going to lighten it up a little bit with 1.5 ounces. Then let's look at our Amaro here, the Amaro Montenegro. This is going to be 1 ounce. So again, that's more alcohol that we're putting into it, and that's why we didn't need quite as much bourbon. So 1 ounce of the Amaro Montenegro. Perfect. For our fresh squeezed lemon juice, 3/4 ounce. And again, I did this earlier today, so it's ready to go. And put that right into our shaker. It'll be ready and excellent. Now for our Demerara syrup, normally with a sour, we do equal parts of the sour note and the sweet note. However, because the Amaro has some sweetness to it and the Demerara syrup's a little more rich and toffee-like than a simple syrup, I'm only going with a 1/2 ounce for the Demerara syrup. So again, 1/2 ounce of the syrup. It's just luscious. I love the way it looks and smells and the way it adds an extra depth of complexity to our cocktail. Let's just go right in order here. I got my black walnut bitters. For this, it's kind of a complementary note. It's not the main player here. So we want it to bring some depth. So we're going to use 2 shakes or 2 dashes of our black walnut bitters. I love the black walnut bitters. They go with so many different things. They're great in an old fashioned as well. Grabbing our orange bitters, which is our kind of our big bitter player here because it's going to complement our Amaro Montenegro. So we're going with 3 dashes of the orange bitters. And then finally, our egg white substitute, and you can certainly use an egg white if you prefer, but I'm going to go with 5 dashes of the Fee Foam. I find that 5 dashes works pretty well and gives that frothiness and a little bit of the silky tone to the texture that we really enjoy. So that's all the ingredients we need. So let's put this together and we're going to shake her up for about 15 to 30 seconds until it's nice and cold and ready to go in our coupe glass. Here we go. That's feeling really cold in my hands, so I think we're ready. Nice and frothy. Bring our coupe glass nearby. We're going to strain this into our coupe glass. I'm keeping this really simple tonight. You could also add a garnish of a lemon or an orange would be great with this as well. I'm kind of in a purist mode of just having the cocktail as is, so I am not doing a garnish tonight. But feel free, you can add a cherry or an orange slice or a lemon wedge would be great. So before I taste it, I'm going to see how the aromas are. Getting those citrus notes and some warm, inviting notes off that bourbon. And the Amaro is coming forward with some herbalness, and the orange is very present. Cheers to the Monte Whiskey Sour. That is delivering on its promise of a terrific balance, great mouthfeel. The lemon and the Demerara are playing very well together. I love the way this OBSF 4 Roses is tasting with the Amaro Montenegro. They are really complementing one another. The orange comes forward very nicely, but in the background you can still feel that black walnut playing a nutty note for you. It's got all kinds of pop and balance. If you really enjoy a more sophisticated cocktail, something that takes you on a true journey, which I personally enjoy, as well as one that has a lot of balance and complexity, that is what I would say this cocktail is all about. So have you made a Monte Whiskey Sour before? If so, I'd love to hear in the comments what your recipe is, how you make it differently, or maybe how you do it the same. I'd also like to know other suggestions you have for what you would like to see next Thirsty Thursday, because I'm always open to hear from my folks that are watching us. So have a great Thirsty Thursday evening. Always drink responsibly, and cheers.